In this video, you're going to see a real core review I did for one of my private coaching clients. I break down exactly where the sales rep lost control from missed tie downs to weak commitments, and I show how to fix it in real time. So whether you're a closer or you're managing a team, this will show you how to build sales reps who actually know how to close, not just talk. And this is the same framework I've used across dozens of clients and teams and hundreds of reps to drive real performance. So let's get into it.
You should.
Yeah. Nice. And like with you, Mike, I'm curious, like, hey, you've been working in the software engineer job for 8 years. Obviously, you see the time allocation it requires. And I think more importantly, maybe like where it's taking you away from now. Like, has this been just a recent thing for you where it's like, okay, now with a newborn, it's kind of
pretty much
really front and center? Or like, has it been there for a while?
It has been there for, I think, maybe a year or two. Kind of.
I would see there, just you bucketed it. You like, okay, it's good that you did I understand in this situation, you wanted to pre-frame that question. You provided a bunch of context. That's fine. Just don't bucket it. Say, has this been going on for a while? Then if you're going to ask a binary question, you would just say, has this been going on for a while? As opposed to, has this been going for a while or just recent? What I would do is not ask a binary at all and say, how long has it been going on?
Being intentional about,
so
some
use
sort
Socratic
of security blanket
over binary when you can. E.g.
Because it's not a good idea to have just one stream of income. You want to have multiple, and in case of anything, and also you just, you want to get into business. That's always a goal. That's always a must.
So it's been in the back of your mind for about 1 or 2 years now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You feel like it's more of that 2-year mark, or where exactly?
Yeah, I think after the baby, you get much more intentional. You get much more. Okay, I gotta get started. Before the baby, you're like, you know what? It's good. It's not. But it's like, okay, no, I'm not just for me, but I have other priorities that I gotta take care of.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay. Well, I guess like before you started speaking with me today, right, and like previous to the little one being born as well, like, have you been out there looking for other ways, man, that you can kind of make some more money so you can have that security?
So this is perfect. What we're achieving here is one of the big sales that needs to be made, which is, what are you doing to solve the problem, right? And then they get to a point where they essentially admit that they need outside help to do it.
Or what's
one of the first sales. So then you can, especially with people that have unfulfilled desire and less like massive pain.
Looking into
just the admittance that they don't have the mechanism to solve it.
Businesses, looking into foreign small businesses, and I'm also looking into it. It's just that, hey, obviously, let's look into Airbnb and see how it goes. Yeah. But you're always exposing yourself to new opportunities. Yeah. So it's just not one thing. It's like multiple things. You have different ideas, different.
So what were the things you've explored over the last 2 years? Like the business, you said?
What else? Like purchasing like small businesses, mom and pop's businesses or something like that.
Yeah. Anything else, or just that you're looking into?
Just that.
Okay. All right. And I guess like what kind of prevented you, Mike, from starting?
Finding the right opportunity.
This is why getting a real clear tie down of did you go at them? Like, obviously, if you said I didn't, I was just looking. But that's why I always say, if they don't make it very clear, when I go, my first question is, what have you, like, have you been looking for ways to solve XYZ problem or get XYZ goal? And they go, yeah, I have. Okay, and what have you looked at? I've looked at this, I've looked at that, I had a look at this, I went into that, I had a look at this. And if I don't hear an in-principle agreement, or at least very clear implied language that they actually started, I will ask. The reason why I do that is because of the question you're asking now, which is, what prevented you? And then they can squirm and say, well, it wasn't serious, right? Whereas if I say, did you start? And they go, no. I go, why is that? And they go, it wasn't serious. I go, well, okay. And then it's just very tight to go, okay, well, ultimately our objective is to get there. So what's ultimately held you back from, ultimately getting into it and going from research mode to doing mode? It just makes it a pretty tight line of questioning, but it looks like you'll probably get there regardless. Let's see. It's not a big deal. It's just getting a little bit smoother, but not 80-20 here, just so you know.
Businesses, you have to be very careful with that. Business.
Okay, so you're hearing the externalization language again, the you.
Businesses.
There's a bit of a frame thing, but it can just be people's personality. They don't realize they're doing it. Probably would have trained him out of it a little bit here, but your job here is just to make sure that your next question points him back in internally and you get some accountability. He doesn't just say fucking mechanism and blame the fucking mechanisms.
Yeah.
Owners, businesses usually get owners. So if somebody's selling his business, it's probably not a good reason why he's selling. So you always have to be.
So he's blaming the mechanism of M&A, saying if someone's selling their business, it's probably a crap business. Not true. Like 80%, like Cody Sanchez talks about this. Like all these boomers have businesses they want to retire, so that they'll sell off their business. It's not terrible. Plus, your whole point of M&A is you go in and you buy a business and you improve it with your systems or your capital, whatever it is. Like, it could be a decent business. It could even be an average business not doing so well. So this just, whether or not I actually educate him on this, probably not going to, because this is not about M&A, this call, but it's just to explain to you that this is an excuse that doesn't stand.
I think that's just find the right opportunity.
Okay. Yeah, right opportunity, label bullshit. Like, again,
So that's my be.
So this is where this is where potentially the objection is. Funnily enough, that's the name of the phase.
I met this gentleman, and he pretty much said, "Hey, I have an Airbnb. My wife and I, we started it very young. Now we've grown it where I'm hitting this mark. Okay, definitely looks like it. Definitely some genuine person.
Okay, So say this is what they do: is they'll explain and cope and explain away why they didn't take action with an outside process. Now, obviously, we don't want to smash them and tell them, well, M&A is so good, you should have done it, and they go do it. But the whole point is to point it in on them that they haven't done anything about the problem. And then what he's done here, because we didn't interject or we didn't line up the questions properly, is he's talked himself out of it and going, that's why, and this is why a lot of sales reps don't touch it. He goes, that's why it looks so good to do real estate. Like now they're like, oh, it was the mechanisms problem. Well, I'm not necessarily looking to smash regardless, but I am probably going to get a little bit more pointy on just your action taking abilities in general.
Who I can relate to, who has been in my shoes before.
Even if I don't get an in-principle agreement and say what held you back, you know what I mean? I don't start smashing. I just want it to be out there in the conversation that he didn't move forward as far as he can, because definitely people have success with M&A. That is even a reframe that NEPQ uses, which is, well, I'm assuming there's at least some people having success with M&A, like buying businesses, they're buying those businesses, even though the people selling them, the businesses might be subpar. So with that in mind, what ultimately held you back from moving forward on that so you could get to your goal? And then you just make it personal. And then you can ultimately take the approach of going, okay, what do you feel like you've lost in that time by not taking action with a mechanism? What do you think you'll continue to lose? And what type of mindset shift do you need to have moving forward as an entrepreneur?
Would be the right opportunity for you, Mike.
So cool. We're going to clarify what it is and then pulling him away from it.
In terms of making sure, because of what happened with the businesses then.
The right opportunity is pretty much a house that I know that, hey, there's a pretty good opportunity that for the short term.
But see, now he can squirm on it because he's sort of sitting in that statement assumes the fact that a good opportunity only qualifies when it's real estate. So he's basically, whether he realizes it or not, he's escaped from admitting the objection by coping on its mechanism.
And so somebody's going to rent it. He's going to be able to generate this. I think there's a say that, hey, scared of money don't make no money. You have to be out there. You have to invest. You have to. So I guess my plan is, one of my goals, joining the opportunities is to kind of find if there is some sort of a criteria, some sort of steps you guys took to identify the right neighborhood, the right house to purchase.
Yeah.
And to go from there.
Okay. And so because I just want to make sure we're on the same page. Over the last 2 years, from what you said, you were looking at the small businesses, but never really took that step forward because you felt like it wasn't the right opportunity, right? Right. And so we want to make sure that we're looking at the right things, man, that are actually going to help you, actually get better returns so you can diversify the portfolio a little bit, right? Have a bit more security, especially with family.
So if you're going to, again, I could unpause it and you could hit him with a reframe, but this is basically your approach now is to just get on the same side of the table and just hope and pray that he is this is the problem with analyzers, bro. They analyze. If you can do enough in the pitch, which is what we've been working on, and really truly sell him on how much more superior this mechanism is, you can hope that you make the sell there, but it's purely logical. And analyzers always find a reason to get back into logic, right? And end of the day, people make decisions with emotion. So he's probably going to come up with some excuses potentially. We'll see. Like I said, I don't know if this guy closes. I don't want to judge it before the call.
What is that right opportunity for you right now, you feel?
Also, the right opportunity will be the right neighborhood, the right building, obviously history of...
What I would have said there is, what's the right type of opportunity that's going to take you from, I guess, really that research mode to doing mode, So there's action behind the question instead of what's the, you're kind of validating his analytical mindset. Yeah, sure, it gets language and an in-principle agreement to his criteria for success, but we want to know in truth what type of criteria is going to make you act, and we want to say that in principle, explicit. So I guess when it comes to research, which is when it comes to the opportunity, which is this big thing you're saying is your reason for not taking action in the past, when it comes to the right opportunity, what's, I guess, the criteria that's really going to take you from research mode to doing mode, I suppose? And then it just makes you think about it a bit more. What would you truly need to actually act, as opposed to, it would need to have this, it would need to have that. It's I'm asking you, what's going to make you act in real life?
Neighborhood being great for rentals, or, and a building that I know that it's not going to break down or anything like that. Something like that.
Okay, so to be able to find the right locations and
But your decision making is good. You're hitting all the correct decisions. It's just slight execution.
property, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And also your frame is holding really well.
Okay. Anything else outside of that?
I think that would be all.
Okay. And I guess like right now, do you feel like when it comes to design?
Oi. All right, let's hear it. Let's just pull it up for a sec real quick. Let's hear it.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else outside of that?
I think that would be all.
Okay. And I guess like right now, do you feel like when it comes to design, do you know how to build like an actual proper experience within the property so that you can actually get greater returns on the market?
No, I don't.
No?
Boom.
Okay. All right.
Fucking hell. It's like it
And
works
then
or
what about when
something.
it comes to like making sure that you have
Oh, bro. Oh. Just like give him some breath. Give him a chance to breathe, bro.
from a management perspective, back-end systems built so that it's not going to take you another 30, 40 hours a week to like be
This is perfect for Cookie and Analyzer as well, because they're like, well, no matter how much I analyze, I don't have this skill. You know, we'll see if he has any like cope language. Like, oh, it wouldn't be hard to figure out. Then I would hit a rationale and just make him dismantle the DIY.
managing all of this. Like, do you have that or something you also need some help with?
Yeah, I need some help with that. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. All right. That makes sense, man. Appreciate you being clear.
No
Okay.
problem.
And like, let's say, Mike, you know, we
Perfect execution of the perfect. That was really good, and I think he didn't like, you know, it might have gone like, oh, like kind of lowered his morale a little bit, but not in a manner that's like, you know, where I was expecting you to do it. But it was a perfect timing to really fix some of the issues that we had there of kind of letting him escape, because, you know, at the end of the day, like, you know, we didn't need to. It would have definitely benefited the sale, but we didn't need to do the typical B2C biz ops, smash him on his mindset. But ultimately, you got to show him that there's going to be a gap until you commit, regardless of whether the opportunity is good or not, which is fantastic what you did there. So kind of let him win the small battle, but you ultimately won the war, because no matter what he does find, even if it's the best business model in the world, he needs to have a certain skills that he doesn't have. So it creates a necessity for outside help.
can come in here and like really help you again with these skills, right? Finding the properties, making sure.
Because technically as well, it's just like for awareness, like that, what we did there with highlighting the skill gap is not part of the phase that someone would see when they look at a script and see objection finding. But this is why bridging from phase to phase, having a fluid call is so important, because a prospect doesn't know phase to phase. So he just feels question after question, and you just went back on the back of this to this. So this ended up serving to really close the loop on objection finding, which is really good.
correctly, making sure they're not going to take all the time in the world. So you feel like at that point, man, is there anything like really holding you back from getting started?
Okay,
No,
cool.
no, I'm definitely simultaneous. So when I see a good opportunity, I'll take it. I don't think if there's I think that's to be the right opportunity. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, cool. All right. So even if everything checks out, just to be sure, like, hey, we can really look at the locations together. Numbers look really good. We have a plan on designing. We have all the systems built out. We can see this property.
Okay,
Will
I can
cash
see
flow
a way
for
you could
man.
ask this better already.
There's nothing that's going to slow you down?
No.
No? Okay. All right. All right. Well, I know with some people, and I always like checking, right? From your point of view, like what
That's
has
fine.
you potentially considering?
What I would do there is I wouldn't ask it like, you sure, and getting a kind of, you can do it in principle agreement. Typically what I'm doing there is asking a conditions of satisfaction way of asking that question, which is, let's say we lined everything up, everything fit into your criteria, right? So you're speaking in his language. It had ticked all the boxes. What would you do from that point? Socratic version, again, over binary. So it gets the prospect to have to commit emotionally as opposed to logically. Like, would you do it? Yes, I choose yes. Or what would you do? I would do it. So they have to really speak it out into existence. So if you're asking for an in principle agreement to nothing holding me back, that type of thing, use Socratic over binary, i.e., let's say we ticked all the boxes. Obviously, this is just skeleton language. You'd say, like, let's say we tick the boxes, the property this, the land this, the design that. Like, you fill it, right? Let's say we ticked all the boxes with X, Y, Z. Edit or fit into your criteria. So that's what you're looking for to commit. What would you do from that point? What would you do from that point? That's what I use. You don't have to use corny tonality. You just need to use pausing. That should come naturally once you hit that question enough times, and that'll get a Socratic, emotional, in principle agreement to commitment, which would, again, close the loop of any issues that we had here in objection finding, which is very likely the 80-20 critical phase of this decision-making process for this prospect, other than consequence. And then, yeah, look, I mean, I'm naming every phase, but obviously a good presentation as well.
Using more outside help, expert guidance with a plan and a process, instead of, kind of going off and maybe just trying to, hope and pray you figure it out on your own?
Well, I think it's always best to talk to somebody who's done it before. I'm assuming you have some sort of an experience with it, and I'm assuming that Josh has some experience with it. But yeah, I think it's always better to talk to somebody who has experience and who has done it before, and at least you can learn from their ropes. And if they have a group or anything like that, join in, and you don't want to repeat their mistakes.
See how important it was now to have done this, the perfect execution of the highlighting the skill gap, because now this answer is so much better because you pre-cooked it with the frame, because he knows he needs help.
It'll be better from there.
Right. So it's a really big thing is to make sure that if you can learn from other people's mistakes, you're not going to make them yourself, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Perfect. In principle agreement, double tie down.
From both sides.
Great double tie down there.
It's like, what would that mean, man, if you went out and actually started making those mistakes?
Yeah, that will hinder your progress. You're gonna, it's gonna discourage you to keep going. You wanna obviously get started and obviously see where people messed up, and so that you don't fall in the same trap. And if there's some sort of a package you can learn from it to move forward.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. I know you mentioned Josh a couple of times. Who was Josh? Just to make sure I'm on the same page.
I thought that was his name. Give me a second. The gentleman that I spoke with, that I met.
It's probably referring to the SDR.
Oh, sorry, man. It's not Josh. It's Michael Elefante.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, because I know you said Josh earlier in the conversation, Mike, and I was a little bit confused. Yeah. So it was Michael that you met, right?
Yeah, it's Michael. Yeah. It's my name too. I don't know actually. Yeah.
You guys have the same name.
We have the same name. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So yeah, it was Michael. Okay. So be able to learn from his mistakes, right? And that way that you're not making them your own. So you're doing your progress and keep moving forward. All right. Well, what would be the goal here for you, Mike? Like in the next 3 to 6 months, in terms of your first short-term rental?
Make a purchase. Make a purchase and put it on the market. Make a purchase, put it on the market for rental. And
let me know how that question lands for you at scale. The only thing I would adjust to is what would be success metrics for you. Like really the objective goal for you in 5 months. If you want to get like a legit milestone that's tangible, not just emotional. It depends. If it serves you to get either emotional or logical, then you can hit goal. That word just allows for both of those answers. But if you go success metrics, I guess objective milestone, then you're probably going to get very certain type of answer at scale. But regardless, he gave us logical. Let's see where you take it.
Let's go.
Yeah. Okay. And in terms of monthly returns, have you thought about what would you like to see from that first one?
That's fine.
Monthly returns is being able to rent it out, use the income to pay off the mortgage, and the leftovers. I'm hoping the leftovers is at least $5K a month or something, so some sort of that, or 5 to 10K a month. But the most important thing is being able to pay off the mortgage, the monthly mortgages, and have enough adequate, which is I say about 5 to 10K or even more than that to kind of put in your back pocket.
Yeah. That makes sense. Okay. And then let's say that first one goes really well, you see a clear green light. What would be the plan after that?
Of course, keep moving forward. Keep look for a second purchase.
Of course, now the single sale we're trying to make here is selling them on the actions they'll be able to take when they're at the goal. So we're creating pull from the fact that he's just kind of really clearly admitted that he doesn't have the ability to do it on his own, right? Which is the thing he needs to get to the goal that we've also got. Just strong fundamentals and decision making through this call so far. Some little nitty-gritty things, but the 80-20 you closed off here, which is good. Some little execution things could be done better, but so far so good.
Looking for second purchase, looking for third purchase.
Okay, nice. So to keep buying and scaling from there, is that right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So for example, if we kind of go a little bit further out on the timeline, right? Let's say 3 to 5 years from now, Mike, what would you want to be making at that point?
That's good.
30K a month. Yeah, preferably 30K a month. Yeah.
Okay. 30K a month.
So we take that.
And is there a reason why that number?
Pen of reality they can see.
A random number. I'm assuming that.
Okay. We're going to trust this.
I have about maybe four buildings, 4 houses, and if each is making around, after mortgages, is making around 6 to 7K.
Because we're still dealing with B2C, I'd be doing what would the day be for you if that were the case? What would you do with that type of money coming in though? How would that help you to serve your family? Stuff like that.
It averages to 30K. That was a quick math that I did. But hey, I could be, I'm just averaging one building a year. I could be doing 2 buildings a year. So who knows? It could be 6 more buildings. So
right. So, yeah, and again, we'll go into this with you around what that can look like for you.
Perfect.
Right? So let's say we're using that same timeline, 1 property a year. How old are you now, Mike?
I'm 32.
Okay, so 32 right now. We say 5 years. Right, that gets you to being about 37. Your wife is the same age or a little bit?
Okay.
She's a little bit.
Looks like we're bridging it.
28.
Okay, nice. Right. So 28 should be 32, and the little one, man, he'll be about 5. Eh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nice. And who knows? Maybe more coming along the line.
I know, maybe more coming. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, nice. And so, like in 5 years,
we go.
making $30,000 a month from the rental properties, right? What would you? I guess what would that allow you to do at that point in
Perfect,
time,
bro.
which might be a little bit difficult to do right now?
Perfect. And I like the way you kind of compared it to now, which is strong. And like the intent there is very good, which is just creating necessity for the vehicle that he doesn't have to get to the goal that he's not at. So it's perfect.
Oh, maybe work. Spend time with the family. Definitely get opportunity to spend more time with the family. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And
Bit
I
of a
guess
closed
what would you
book.
want to be doing more with the family at that time?
There we go. Good.
Travel.
Oh, where would you go?
Yeah. Travel. Go to soccer games, to go to football games.
Who's your favorite team?
adventure, stuff like that.
Moment in time.
I'm a big travel guy myself.
Here we
I know
go.
the accent
Good
gave
job.
it away here. I was born and raised.
Yeah,
Yeah.
mate. How you doing, mate?
Yeah, how you doing, mate? Yeah.
Cheers, mate.
Born and raised over there, but now I'm in between, our head office in South Carolina with Michael, and sometimes Latin America as well.
Like this takes the focus off you, which isn't good, but you're building trust here, so it's not terrible. I would have just kept it. You had him right on the hook, but it's still good. You're gonna get back in there.
So I'm traveling every couple of months. So when people tell me about travel, I'm like, what's the first thing on the bucket
Okay,
list?
providing
I know.
context to why you're asking, that's fine.
So hold on. You from Australia, right?
See, it's given that he took the door because he uses a lot of that externalization language. It's like and then his answers there just before were like, yeah, be pretty good because he's a closed book. That's why you have to probe light and go, oh, where would you go? Oh, what would you do? And just like light probe in and get him talking about the only thing we're missing here is moment in time. Which is just like it would generally feel great because I'd be at this objective number. That's cool, but I want to be hearing like where you're traveling so he can imagine it. Like Matt says, if a guy wants to buy a supercar, you want to be asking him about what color rims he's going to get, how it will feel driving it.
Correct.
Okay, and you travel to US and Latin America, right?
Damn, is he
that's awesome.
doing the sales call now?
Oh, that's amazing. That's awesome, bro.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
But hey, it sells maybe on the outcome.
Yeah, if you truly asked me, Mike, like 2 years ago, like honestly, if you said, in some way, would you be living the life you're living now? I would have said, no way.
Yeah.
That's not me, not possible, right? But
Right.
surrounding myself with the right people.
You just need to finish this off and bridge straight into a question. Do not let him ask another one.
System to follow, and I put my head down, worked hard, got a little bit outside of my comfort zone.
Because it becomes a bit of a coaching statement and like they just start thinking weird shit.
being from Australia.
Yeah.
But
Come on.
I just put my head down and really got to work, and now
Yeah.
feels like a little bit of a dream. But for you, like, where do you want to
Yep.
travel, man?
Oh man,
Okay.
I want to go to obviously I want to go to South America, Latin America.
Yeah.
I obviously I can get up and get my bags ready and go. It's just that I don't have the time. The time is always something. I want to do some, obviously go to Europe and go watch some soccer games, football games. Obviously do all these things you have on your bucket list that you want to do.
There it is again.
Obviously you're gonna, because once you hit, I don't know how old you are, but once you hit 30, it's like okay, I gotta get some stuff ready. I gotta start, and everything. What
do you mean?
You very fast. So
How so?
you
Probe in there.
wanna.
I would have probed in there, got what I needed there, and then go to the family one. The holiday one, it's good, but it's not closing source. You want to go at the family one
You want to also take
because as a father, the selfish goals never come close to the providing goals.
care of you as a person, because you've been taking care of other people all around. So you just want to get to
And
the
see, now he's going back into you
point
language.
where you just want to be a bit, bit selfish. Not selfish, but much more cognizant of who you are.
Yeah. What are those things for you, Mike? I know you said travel. I know you said family is the top
Cool.
of your list. You want to be able to
Yeah.
travel,
Here we
right?
go.
And the soccer games, especially. What are those things for you personally, man, that you would like to get back to doing?
Okay, cool. So you're going at the self goal. It's not bad. Like I said though, with the father, especially newborn, all that's on his mind is the kids. So I would have pointed that in. Just light probing, clarifying, get the moment in time, like I said, to take it from objective numbers to emotional to really moment in time emotional. Spend a bit of time. Where would you travel? I would have felt that in the language that it was only so. And then gone, what about family ultimately? And that's just like my North Star for this phase. Moment in time, providing for family. Gold standard. That's what I'm looking for.
Too, man, I like to just take a trip, go to another country, spend some time, just
But it still serves a lot of purpose because he said his main problem right now is time. And, you could really like get him to see the other side.
eat your food. I think being kind of doing this for a long while. I'm the firstborn in my family, so as a firstborn, you kind of have to be there for everybody. You know what I mean? And have little brothers, little sisters. So it's kind of you've been kind of trying to figure it out as early as you can. So yeah, man, I'm definitely trying to start something in order to get to. I think the goal is to be financial freedom.
Yeah.
It gives you the time. It gives your time back, and as you get
So you see ultimately there why if we had labeled this upstream, he would have gone, yeah, and you could just keep pinning it everywhere you go. So you can, and it's just his love language in a single label. So it would have served to have got that pretty clear earlier on, is labeling it.
Get older.
It's just your ability to read the prospect based on their desires, how you can label it.
The main currency
Because then you critically need in every single sales call of any kind is that you're both looking in the correct direction of what North Star is.
time, time becomes your currency.
That's got to be linchpinned.
Not the money. It's more about time. So you just want your time back. And in order to have your time back, you need extra income.
Yeah.
30K, 40K extra would definitely help do that.
Yeah, I hear you, man. You know, for you, like money is just a vehicle at the end of the day in terms of what it allows you to do.
Right.
And so for you, Mike, to actually be able, man, to have more time with the family, with the little one you're raising now, you know, your wife. But I think even more than that, man, from what you told me, it's, hey, be the leader of my family, right? I'm the firstborn child, so that I can actually lead them correctly, be able to travel. And what would that mean for you to know that you made those things happen, making 30, 40K a month now, and you can live that type of life?
So if we got moment in time, family, and then ask that question, 10x. But I want to hear, my North Star here is I want to hear a couple of stories, moment in time, of providing for family, and then ask, what would that be? What would that feel like? Right? So kind of looping and layering the whole thing.
Amazing. Very great. Amazing. You know, especially, it gives you the ability to do what you want to do, kind of give you a peaceful lifestyle that you want to do, go where you want to go, stuff like that.
See, because that's like to go where you want to go, do what you want to do, because you just prompted him. His recent memory is you talking about travel, football, and then generally skimming the family one. And there was a little bit of moment in time talking about travel where I won't go to South America, but then you come in and ask this question, and it's all layered off the back of his second best goal, slightly a moment in time, and you get this type of answer. Not terrible. It's still like, maybe it closes this guy, but at scale with your tougher prospects, when you're trying to push past like 50% close rate, depending on the account, depending on the state of the leads and stuff like that, if you want to be closing the tougher ones, that's just what you need to be getting with B2C.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, man, I sense it. Right. And I guess like currently with where
I feel like, okay, cool. I could tell just by your pausing and tone, you're moving into COI.
You're at in terms of your level of skills and the level of knowledge that you have. Like how close do you feel you are right now to be able to kind of produce like 30, 40K a month and be able to kind of provide that type of life?
Yeah, I think it's definitely doable.
Okay. This is the problem. This is the read you have to have, is because this is where you get back at them, but not really like combative here. But see all that you language he was doing? He bought a ticket to my consequence by doing that. So what I would have used is you've got it, you just didn't use it, which is all this. I would have used this highlighting the skill gap. I would have used it in this question. Imagine if you had said, okay, with where you are now and, your ability to, so you mentioned you don't have the ability to understand design, you don't have the ability to understand X and Y. Like, how close are you to making $3,400 a month with short-term rentals so that you can moment in time about family? See how fucking stacked that is? If you say that tight with labels, financial stability, design, all these things, like how close are you with what you know now about thing you don't have, and thing you don't have? How close are you to objective number and moment in time with family? Cooked, right? That would have hit North Star. So your first COI question should be loaded with the context you have, right? Regardless, like that's just process, right? But especially with this prospect who has given repeated, kind of like, also we let him get away with that objection finding stuff with like, past approach. We close it off with this, but now we need to bring it to, he needs to reap what he sows. Like this is what we justified as our reason for not smashing him on not moving forward with business buying, but we need to use it here. Otherwise he's going to have lack of urgency COI type of thing. But especially with this prospect that's given repeated externalization, this is going to be another part of the 80-20. Which is the objection finding. You can see what I'm talking about here. This whole like objection finding, let him get away with the business buying cope, highlighting the skill gap. He admitted it, but we need to bring it to justice now to really help him see the lack of consequence. And it's like the call I would have given you when we first started working together. If you didn't see it, go listen to it, which is the the Najib call, where I had to like literally spend 15 minutes in consequence because I knew that was the center of gravity. A very similar person, newborn baby, learned helplessness, blamed other mechanisms, language, standard. He's pretty much the same prospect. All right, quick pause and then we'll get back to the video. If you do over $1 million a year and you want your sales team to scale predictably, I run one-to-one sales management consulting done with you. You can apply at the link. We onboard a few managers each month so you can grab a slot and then we'll install your one-to-one system together. Now back to the video.
With Airbnb, I think it's doable. Obviously, the goal is to, but obviously, as you mentioned, you guys have done it before. Michael, seems like you've been
Oh no,
doing
what
it.
I mean, Mike, my apologies, is like I'm not questioning your like willingness. I can see, man, you're very hungry, right? But like just to check on like where you're at right now with the current skills, current knowledge, and income. Like how close do you feel you are to actually providing that?
So just put the intention and inflection on that question on skill set, right? Because that's what we want. We ultimately want him to come to this answer through judging his abilities, not his mindset, like his actual skills, right? So this is why we want to put intonation on skill set.
That type of life.
I mean, yeah, I mean, I think
Here it is.
probably because it's just one income, I'm far off. But with
Yeah.
multiple ones, now I'm assuming
Yeah.
every building is one source of income.
But see, like again, it's an escape. And and like, what are you going to do? Smash him? Yeah, you're talking about other incomes, but you don't have the skill for it. Like, you're not going to do that on the call. You're obviously not going to smash him for it, are you? Right? Unless you want to take that approach. Not my approach. What I do is I set them up for success and save any of that combativeness by the entry question into COI. And then if I needed to clarify the question like you just did, it would have put so much intention on skill set, like the skill set you do have, like how close are you? And then he can say not close. And if he does, it's such a pointy question. If he does try and say, well, with other approaches, then I'm going to be like, okay, and like how close do you feel you are to getting those skills with what you currently know now? And then because I already preloaded the question with the skill gap, he's really not going to have much room there. But it doesn't feel like logic boxing and tight because my tone and delivery is such that it's just like I only put intonation on skills and stuff like that and just deliver it with the correct pacing. And this is going to leave him dismantled of any DIY. And then the urgency is coming from the fact that he comes to an in-principle agreement that it's just not a matter of time, it's a matter of skills. He'll never get the skills until he gets the skill. He'll never get the result until he gets the skills. He really wants the result because we got super emotional about it. And then we get a transition commitment to change. And then the presentation just needs to be rocking. And this is how you absolutely crush like 50, 60% close rate, again, depending on context. But that with like solid follow-up, conditions of satisfaction, no random squirming, and then you've got yourself like a nice like 60-70% close rate.
Yeah. So it's definitely doable.
Right.
From
How much are you making right now from work?
Okay.
from work, I'm making about 8K a month.
Okay, 8K a month.
8K a month, yeah.
Okay, 8K a month. All right. Yeah. Can I ask you a personal question, Mike? Is that all right?
Concern.
Yeah. And look, the reason I ask, man, is because, it's not always a question I enjoy asking, but I find when I speak to the right gentleman, right, it really puts things into the right perspective for them around like, what's at stake, man, if, for example, let's say nothing really changes here, right? We keep showing up to work, doing the same thing day in, day out, don't actually start to make the time to now invest into the right skills so we can actually build that proper portfolio. What does that look like for you, man?
Good eye contact. Strong.
I mean, that means, you don't have to go to work anymore.
Oh,
If you're able to invest in the right
he's got it inverted.
portfolio needs.
This is exactly like the call I told you, Najib. He literally, I said, what's the burning building essentially? And he's like, oh, getting to 40K a month. I'm like, no. And I had to like literally explain the freaking concept. So either it's misunderstanding or just pure escape language. And as you'll hear in that call, there's a moment where he finally admits it after 4, I did personal story, 2 analogies, and just in the beginning, I taught him the principle of it, just the context, and not do a corny analogy, but it didn't serve him, so I needed to go into personal story. Still, he was like, yeah, cool, cheers, cool story, bro. And I was like, all right, analogies, and then he finally got it. He's like, oh, and I'm like, yeah, what is that? He admitted it, and you hear this like long sigh, and his tonality changed the whole call. Perfect timing, hit the presentation to offer him the helping hand, and then he was cooked. So this is what we need to see, something to that emotional pattern at least, whether or not you execute it the same way.
Now 40 to 30K.
Oh, no. My apologies.
Cool.
Like, what I mean is,
Cool.
like what happens on the other side, right, of the fence, right? Because we need to look at a clear picture around having a very clear idea of like where we want to get to,
Yeah.
right? But it's
What
the
I'm
people that
asking-
are willing to explore what's on the other side of like
Yes.
what's at stake if nothing really changes. You know, for example, man, like you're 32 right now,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
If you don't get to a point where you have that financial freedom, like, dude, what's things really look like for you 5 years from now? Nothing's changed.
Okay.
You know what I mean? You want to be able to do that. You want
Uncomfortable. Okay. He literally moved in his chair and laughed about it, and he's looking away. So we're getting there. We'll see.
that. You don't want to be where you are 5 years from now.
You language.
That's it.
That's where I probably would say it, because it's been so much. He's been doing it so much. But you, man. Like, what about you? Because it's appropriate. It serves like the language, and also just like we're right in the belly of the beast. So I would have just said it. It's already not the highest like positive phase of the call. It's already pretty poignant. So I would have hit it right here. This is just an EQ thing. It's an appropriate time to do what I said would otherwise be combative, with less rapport in the call.
That's something you don't want to be.
Yeah.
You want to definitely push yourself. I don't want to be where I am 5 years from now. That's
Why is that?
No, probably depressed. Yeah, you're absolutely right. So
What makes you say depressed?
because it's just not something I want to be in. It's just something I don't want to be in.
What was that?
You don't want to be, as a person, you don't want to be exactly where you are. Right? And I will be if I choose not to do anything. So yeah.
Okay.
So yeah.
It's okay. But then he finishes it.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, man, it's all about like understanding, you know, whose decision is it at the end of the day?
Yeah, it's you as a person. It's your decision to make. You know.
Yeah, yeah. So, man, like, you know, based on what you said, like,
Would have been nice if he said it was mine, right? That's what I mean.
you know, is that a type of life you're willing to settle for, man, where nothing changes? You're depressed. As you said?
No, come on, man. You know that's not it. Yeah.
Oh, I don't. I need context.
Well, look,
This
man,
call's about
based
you.
on everything we've covered.
Cool. So just see why I needed a lot more weight. Look, decision making, like identifying bad answers, like your direction, like the order of questions, perfect. Okay, was good. Again, like I said earlier, it's just execution on keeping things tighter and taking your opportunity to really, like, I guess, call out the externalization and get a proper in principle agreement of it's my fault, choice, whatever was required, right? That would have hit it. It was your opportunity to go, oh, and like you, man, because it's already poignant. Like I said, it's not like an airy fairy parting goal and you just like kind of all like in the first 2 minutes and you just seem like a police officer. You're asking full sentence questions like, when you say, what do you mean? And like all this other shit. But you can actually do that here. Like you did a bit of that. Like, what do you mean depressed? And it didn't like trigger anything because you're already down there.
Mike, like number one thing for me that's really important is to understand
Right.
where someone is at, what they're looking to achieve. More important, like
Looks like we're about to hit the presentation, which was the other part we wanted to discuss. So let's crack that now. We're literally nearly at an hour and we're only one call in today and 50% of the way. But we should just get through the present and then we'll address the other calls.
understanding, man, like again, that other side of it, which is, man, what's at stake?
Yeah.
Because like you could keep kicking the can down the road. You know what I mean? And I understand the newborn here has created a little bit
Okay.
more of like urgency for you.
Not done yet?
You can see it now in real time, like, hey, the little one's
See.
here. But there's always going to be the guy that says, hey, you know what? I'll start the diet on Monday. New year, new me type of thing, right?
Yeah.
Why not kind of just kick the can down the road, Mike?
Nah, you don't want to do that. You want to get
good.
it started right now.
You're getting
There's no
commitment
need
to
to take the
change.
can off the road, man. That is the youngest I'm ever going to be. This is the youngest you're ever going to be. You don't want to no. If there's something you want to do, you do it right now. Get it over with.
But for you personally, Mike, like, why don't you want to kick the
Okay,
can down the road?
cool.
I
Perfect.
don't have the time.
Perfect. Great job. Finally. Took your time. Finally turning the you language into me language.
Time to do it. I don't have the time to do that. If I want to do something, let's do it right now. Let's
Fuck,
see
dude. Solid, man.
what the results are.
Good job.
And if there's obviously, I'm doing this to grow, to expand, to have multiple, to create.
Bro, these guys would have, like, correct me if I'm wrong, maybe you just find it easy and just you give yourself permission to be like this. But based on what I assessed in more of the order in the beginning of our time together and the core reviews, this guy would have fucking stomped you, or at least just squirmed all over the place. But you've just got a decent grip of this call, infinitely more than the first week.
Multiple streams of income.
This is literally only like 2 weeks together.
to take my time back. I think that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I appreciate the clarity, man. Thank
No
you.
problem.
I definitely want to be able to switch gears here. Do you have any hard stops coming up, Mike? I think I noticed you kind of looking at the clock a little bit.
Yeah. My baby was doing a low crying. So
I think overall, if you can keep the calls down to this, that length of discovery, like some people, like I get to my presentation in like 15, 12 minutes, like with an hour-long 12K offer. But, you know, if you're converting an unsophisticated person who needs to be built into a buyer, it's okay to take this long, as long as these calls indeed go this long and you've got enough time to objection handle. You don't just give up and leave.
I'm watching the camera on his room.
Okay.
So sometimes he'd be doing some shit, so I have to check out and see if he's
Yeah. Okay, but overall, like he's okay right now. We're good to still.
Yeah, he's okay right now. He's okay right now. He might wake up a few minutes for food, but he's okay right now.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. All right. Yeah. And in terms of everything we've gone through, based on everyone that we've also helped too, Mike, we can absolutely help you with where you want to go, man. Okay. How this is going to work specifically with yourself is our B&B Investor Academy program is going to be exactly aligned, like with basically what you're telling me. It's what a lot of our clients get success with, based on some similar situations. All right. Yeah. And so really, what we're going to do is
just cut out that bit with based on some similar situations. It's just leave that. It's based on you, and just leave it.
You through 3 big.
You already did enough to preface the fact that other clients are in his situation. You don't need to do it with some similar situations. So just cut that out. Otherwise, solid. Again, doesn't kill it. Just refine.
Side by side with you. Okay. Okay. Do you have a pen and paper?
Yep.
Yeah.
Let's hear some old way, old result.
Okay, perfect. So, like I said, the first step really we're going to walk through with you is actually finding and analyzing properties. Now, most people get into short-term rentals and make an emotional decision. Right? They buy based on their feeling, not validated data. And that ultimately ends up with them being in a property that might look good, but doesn't cash flow at all or barely gets them by, right?
Cool.
Yeah. Because of that, they spend a lot of months wondering why the numbers never worked out, and ultimately causes them a lot of stress, unpredictability, and then all this causing them to pull out their hair when it could have been completely avoidable.
Mm-hmm.
So instead, what we want to do is, first thing, teach you how to make a data-driven decision around the investment that you're making. We're going to show you how to exactly find profitable short-term rental markets, analyze deals using our plug-and-play model, and project revenue across a best, mid, and worst case scenario before spending a single dollar. Like,
yeah, perfect right? For an analyzer.
That way, you can confidently avoid bad deals and move fast when a great one comes up. Okay? Okay. Can you see how that's going to...
I think we could probably buff that new result a little bit more. We'll work on that. But man, fucking night and day. Way better.
Remove a lot of the guesswork for you, having that type of model.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah.
Perfect.
Cool. Any questions come up off the back of that?
No, not at all.
All right. In terms of step 2 is where we're going to come in and design and market the property. Okay, so design and market the property. Now, most investors think they're in the rental game.
Well, the only thing that could make this better, I imagine you're going to hit this again, this tune. The only thing I can imagine making this better is now again justifying this. Layering and looping is what it's all about. You can't do something once, like we do a double tie down. So if you pull up, you say, you know how you said you didn't have the clarity of a design and charging premium pricing? Well, yeah, that's what we do. So that's the only way I can imagine this goes perfectly well. Otherwise, it's going to be solid like the last one.
When really, they're in the experience game. Short-term rentals don't win because they have beds and fridges. They win because guests feel something. Okay, and when guests feel something, they book and they pay more. Why? Because you've been able to build an experience at that property. Okay.
Yeah.
So what we're going to do and what we're going to show you, okay, what we've done with our clients is design the space to actually stand out, right? Not just visually, but emotionally.
Unless you bring this back around, you see here you're using the old presentation. That whole language pattern was from the presentation that we didn't write together. It's still okay. Like, they're not in this game, they're in this game. So it's like, okay, they're kind of focusing on the wrong thing, but it's not as in principle as the first pillar. So it probably could have been tighter going, most people out there do this, and because of that, they face these problems and this consequence. So what we do instead is this, and the reason why we do that is these things. And then you could have just filled it with that. We can work on that together, just making sure that's as it should be.
We'll write the listings that convert browsers, right? People just scrolling into actual bookings. And of course, we will also cover showing you how to price the strategies and adapt across weekdays, seasons, events, time of year. All of that will play into your pricing.
Okay, cool. It just needs a bit more conviction as well. I think you can feel it. It just doesn't have as much weight as the first pillar.
When you do this right, you're not just fighting on price. You're owning
There's some suggestion of old way.
Space in the market. Okay. And that leads to higher occupancy, higher nightly rates.
So this part here, this new result is going to lead the entire, like 80-20 of the weight of this pillar.
And better reviews, which will naturally compound you upwards so that you're at the page of top 1 on Airbnb.
Yeah.
All right.
And I will just drop in my first emotional as there with him. And so you can emotional, or at least so you can project towards the 50K a month, whatever it is. Right.
Now, I wanted to ask you, like, have you ever set a budget for a holiday and actually stuck to it?
No.
Right.
No, man. It's always going to go over.
Yeah. Right. That's exactly why this works.
Yeah.
Does that make
Cool.
sense?
I like it. I like it. I like it. I like the fact
That was good.
it's the experience.
That's a good
game.
way of at least bringing it home by bringing it into him.
You want to you make guests feel something. That's definitely true. It's not necessarily the houses, the experience, the house design definitely attracts guests rather than just the building.
Yeah, spot on, right? And then that perfectly kind of works into that third and final step that we take, which is self-managing like a pro.
Yeah.
Now, the part that people worry the most about is the management. Okay, they imagine themselves kind of stuck answering guest questions, being guest hotline whenever someone's got a question, or again unblocking toilets in the middle of the night, right? Folding towels, going there on the weekend, cleaning the bed sheets, and that is a real possibility if you're doing things the old way, Mike.
Mm-hmm.
But we want to teach you how to build a self-managing system.
Okay.
So we can actually teach you.
All this needed is more old result. You wanted to hit the fact that they will hit scaling constraints. They won't be able to scale if they're cleaning. Like, how are you going to go around kicking about like cleaning five properties bed sheets, right? So it's not just like uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable. Like, no one wants to clean the fucking bed sheets, but also it's just like, even if you're a tough bugger and you're happy to clean bed sheets, it's your thing. You only have 24 hours in a day. So how are you going to scale into multiple properties if you're spending every other weekend, Saturday and Sunday, cleaning all these properties? Just from a logistical standpoint, you hit a scaling constraint, or fulfillment starts to drop, and that's when you start to see churn, and that's when you start to no longer be able to charge premium pricing and hit your profit. Cool. And then you just bridge into this, what you're about to say.
The new way.
Okay.
So what we're going to do is 90% of the tasks are automated using tech. Okay.
See how much more weight it would have if there was context to what happens if he doesn't. Scaling constraints, and then you go tech, and you show how tech has infinite scalability, and we teach you how to arbitrage fucking VAs, whatever it is you're going to do.
That we have for you to basically plug and play.
Okay.
Without you being the cleaner, without you being the handyman, and like I said before, without you being guest hotline. Whenever someone has a question.
That would have had more weight if we hit old result as well.
Through the systems and the processes that we have, this will get you to being able to manage everything.
And when you hit that, like through the systems, through the processor, you would get like through the X system, through the Y process, and just actually mechanizing that, giving it a container. Like through the turnover system of like getting a house from dirty to clean, whatever it is, you would just fill that with subject matter expertise just to put some more weight on it again.
An hour per week per property. That's it.
That's awesome.
But again, you bring it home with new result.
Okay.
But
this is going to give you control.
Here we go.
And profitability.
Yep.
Without burning and paying someone else 20%, so that they're taking care of all the management and cutting your margins.
That's where you would have put in old result as well, and then it would have just had a perfect contrast.
You can do it yourself, have other people do it for you, and still get the benefits or the revenue in your pocket.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Okay. Like for you, man, like how would it feel to actually have a system like that, like working for you in the background?
It feels amazing. It feels amazing, man.
And so you can scale, or so you're not slave.
It feels it'll be great. It'll be great. I think everything that you're saying is spot on. Everything you're saying is spot on. Yeah.
Yeah. No questions coming up for you based on these three big steps?
No. Okay. I think all the steps, the first 2-3 steps, try and analyze the problem.
Personally, when again, like no questions around that, I'd just be like any questions around the process specifically, just because at scale, you go no questions coming up around it. They can potentially say, what's the price? And I just want to like put a lot of intention on that question and go, okay, as far as that process of going from A to B to C, like that process, do you have any questions around the process specifically? And he's like, nothing. Right? Whereas you go, no questions around that? They're like, let me think. How much does it cost?
The design, self-managing, all those spot on.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. What do you feel like is the number one thing that like kind of stood out for you?
Cool. Edification of the benefits.
Probably the design part, the design game.
Yeah.
Obviously, finding and analyzing the property is probably the most important one.
That's why I was just going, why is that? Get that tied down while it's fresh, and then gone anything else, and then he would have given me this.
But you need to find it first in order to design it.
Correct.
So yeah, that's probably the most important one. But every one of them is important. Every one of it is important.
Yeah.
And just ready to get started.
Sweet.
Oosh.
Mike, what I want to cover off with you here is just give you an idea of what our support looks like, helping you through this process, and then we can talk about absolutely getting started. Okay. In terms of support, it really comes in 3 levels. Okay. The way I like to explain it is number 1 is really we need to speak the same language, which is short-term rental language. Okay. The best way we're able to do that with our clients is we want to give them pre-recorded video-based content from Michael inside, where we have streamlined the whole process start to finish in about 15 hours. Okay. 15 hours, so that we can do what? Again, speak the same language, set the right foundation, so we're talking about the same things, but yes, speak the same language so that we can bridge the gap in skills that we have. That's the first thing. And that interweaves perfectly into sort of the biggest thing that we do. Have you heard of the 80-20 rule before, Mike?
Yeah.
Yeah. This is where this comes into the 80-20, so that we are speaking the same language. Now we can actually meet with you every single week over Zoom, right, for an hour and actually walk through the process with you, step by step by step, from showing you the right properties, analyzing the numbers, designing the property, building that experience, managing it, and marketing it.
Yeah.
With a whole step, okay? And the final step is...
The only thing I would add there, the biggest thing I can tell you as a person that runs a business like this is that people just want to know that they can ask questions. The reason why is because everyone thinks, like, these people think they're going to be lost, right? They're worried that, like, you don't understand. Maybe all these people had experience. Your other clients just, like, smarter than them. That's why I always would say like, say all that you said. Like, we're going to teach you this, we'll teach you that on these calls, we're going to do this, and then you're there to ask questions from us. This will also close any uncertainty that they'll have through you conveying that a degree of the fulfillment is from 15 hours of videos. They might think, what if I need help? It would just dismantle any doubt. That's why people want calls, is so they can ask questions in context. So it doesn't just seem like more teaching. And then, like, it's just imprincipally clear that there's a two-way conversation.
Really giving you access to the community we've built, where other people are actually going to be working side by side with you. Other people just like you, Mike. Right? A lot of the clients that we have are mums and dads that are, obviously looking to build financial freedom. And you get to meet those people as well.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yep, let's do it.
All right, man. Any questions at all around the whole system or process? No?
No, I'm just waiting to hear how much the package is.
Sure, no stress, man. Look, in terms of everything that we have, because I always like to gauge it on a scale, like that's the most important thing, is like how aligned are you with everything that we have? Like 1 to 10, real quick, Mike. 1 is, and Selma, great conversation, not for me. 10 is,
okay.
Selma, this is exactly
not my approach. Like I've said, mine's like, okay, that process that we went through, do you feel like that's like 100% going to get you to the 50K a month and so you can? That's how I do it. And then if there's anything less than that, I can handle it. That's my approach. I'm happy to invite objections before I ask for the order. So I ask it with full conviction, and then anything less, it's fine. It's not like I'm going to get PO'd about it, like pissed off. That's how I ask it with 100% conviction. He's on a pretty good high note. Probably get that in principle agreement. And if there's objections, we can address it there and then. Obviously, I'm going to ask why after he says yes. And then it just makes it super tied down. I don't have to deal with objections. It just pre-handles them because he'll bring up less than 100% if there's less than 100%, right? But getting the 1 to 10, very popular approach, not mine, but it's fine. Okay. As long as it can always be, every style can be brought home with enough questions around it.
It's something from here.
Okay, cool. All right, man, look, how it all works is the education we provide. We do that on a lifetime.
Okay, cool. So you're going to go pricing. I think you definitely can tighten up, right? If you had follow-up questions to that 1 out of 10 thing, like justify why is it not a 2, all these other things I don't do, but you can do them. They definitely serve that style. You can do it, but the in principle agreement to the solution being 100% or the for them to get to the needs time. If you're going to ask the 1 to 10 question, it needs justification. You need to go, why not a 2, like why not a 10, whatever you want to do. You just need to have your own logic to it if you're going to use that style. Because it doesn't matter what sales style you use, we're all achieving the same objective. And the objective is to get the prospect to give an in-principle agreement to the mechanism or the presentation, the solution being the answer for them to get to their specific goal. And getting a double tie down is going to help in achieving that because it gets more explicit explanation because they have to justify it with why, right? So you do that through the 1 out of 10 style of going, where are you 1 out of 10? Why not a 9, 1 out of 2? And the type of answer you're going to get is because you do this for me, because you're not just leaving me out on my own. And then that's your kind of your commitment. And then I would still from there go, okay, so that's ultimately why you feel like we can help you 100% get where you want to go. And then you're going to get what I would have gotten just by asking that question straight away. And then going less. Again, I really don't mind getting objections because I have the custom questioning ability to just kind of get there. But it is no better, no worse than the 1 out of 10 if you do it properly, but because you're all just achieving the same objective.
Basis, so you have that forever. We constantly update that material for you. Right? And the professionals I'm going to get you in touch with, that is where, right? Like all the profits that you will make are 100% yours to keep. Working with us is just a one-time investment, which is just...
Okay.
Cool. That's it, man.
Don't say anything.
It's a little hefty. Is there like packages or just...
Based on what I've gone through with you,
yeah,
and what I've understood that you need help with, we do have different packages on other ends of the spectrum, right? We've got some...
But before that, again, see, because you didn't get the 100% double tie down, he can now say, oh, do you have pricing packages? And this is what a lot of sales reps do, is they just go straight into logistics. It's fine to kind of approach that when you do go into objection handling as your first thing. I always like to assume logistics, sure, all that good stuff. But you just don't know for sure if he's 100% bought in now that he heard the price. Because value is in proportion to what is given and what is taken, right? So now he's heard the price, it can change his assessment of the value of all that we just went through. So that's why I would have got the 100% the answer for you to get to where you want to go. Why? Okay, cool. It's 12K, quiet, not that's it, just quiet, straight after 12K. And then he drops this, oh, is there pricing packages? Okay, cool. Just so I know, like, so I'm fully up to date, like, based on the process we went through, you mentioned at the time, like, you're 100% bought in on getting it to where you want to go. With that investment now being kind of involved, do you feel like it's like still 100% the answer where you want to go? And it's just the logistics? Just so I understand. Yep. Okay, cool. So you're like 100% bought in on the process. Just the logistics. Like, I just literally get a double tie down. And then we're like tight, doors closed. And when we do go and offer the payment plans or financing, like, if he squirms on it, like, how can he say it's fair? Like, it's only gotten cheaper. Right? He admitted 100% he's bought in on the process. So it's got to just be logistics. And like offering to solve with more logistics, saying if we could split it up even more, make it more digestible, would that help you? Like, you're just going to get a lot of certainty that it's literally just the logistics and there's no chance. But too many sales reps go down this payment plan flopping for someone that isn't fully bought in. Not saying he isn't, it's been a good call, but just at scale sales process, we sell the way we always sell. This can leave a little bit of room.
Something where we provide, just sort of like more education.
Yeah.
Rather than more hands-on help. And then we have something on the completely different end of the spectrum that's a completely different category of price point as well.
Right.
But based on our conversation, what you need the most help with, what I've identified with you, a lot of our clients that are in a similar spot to you coming in achieve fantastic results with this.
Yeah, a bit of overselling. We'll see. Let's see where this goes.
Okay.
You want to talk less here? I wouldn't do any of that stuff. Just keep the conversation focused on him.
Another question I have is for the property, it's usually just a purchase. In the US, you have first-time home buyers.
So this is just a certainty objection. Guys get lost in the sauce too logistically on this and like, oh, he doesn't understand something about the program. But when someone believes you enough, right, for the most part with this type of market, you're not talking about like, does this software fit our company or is it completely useless? Like, most of this is based on trust. So it's fine to ask. It's fine, but just realize where it's truly coming from is they're kind of asking it as an out of value objection, which is like, I don't know if you can help, so I need to ask this question. But it's really just like, it's either an out of value you would have tied down there, or it's in a value fear, and we've got to see. But if we got double tie down on out of value at the end of the presentation, it really make clear that this question is an inner value.
Or you have conventional, that same process, we follow the same process once we find out a property, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool. Awesome, man. Any other questions you got?
No.
No.
Definitely interested.
Don't ask that. Okay, cool. Any other questions invites him to start thinking about it and not keep pointy on the decision, right? So with that in mind, where would you like to go from this point? Because you've managed to pull out of this payment plan, didn't even go anywhere. Okay, whatever your committing question is, you want to ask, which is, okay, with that in mind, where do you want to go from this point? If you want to go full on, like, what is it? Assumptive and go, okay, from this point, all there is to do left is commit to yourself, or from here, do you want to get started? Like all this stuff. Again, I would say from this point, what do you want to do from this point? And then just get him to go, oh, I'm still fear. And then just go, well, fear. But cool, we already got out of value. And I would have obviously asked, as I've taught you, logistically speaking, the 12K, does that fit in your budget? Tie down on logistics. And then all he has left to do is talk about inner value.
Yeah. I just want to
think about it.
Yeah, I'm definitely open to it. Is there like a link to the page that you can send me and for that and also for the payment process?
Yep.
It's fine. I'm not going to smack this too much because we haven't even done objection handling yet. We're literally, this is what we're starting now. I'm very happy with this call based on the fact that this is what I've given you. So most of it's very good. There's some little things we can, like this is, I guess, of all the nitty gritty stuff that isn't a big deal, this was the biggest deal of it because it's just really using what you've got, and it would have served to make this objection a lot weaker. And then this 100% answer for you, the double tie down, would have set you up for better success. But still, even if you did those things right, I haven't taught you my objection handling yet. So we'll get into it. And again, I want to review your other calls, right? So I can go and review this and point out all these issues with your objection handling, but we're going to work on it regardless, and we meet today. So we're going to call it there. And like I said, I'll give you action items in our next meet in a couple hours. All right, thanks for watching. I hope you found this video valuable. And if you have any questions, drop them in the comments below. I check every single one. And if you're someone who wants speed and real implementation, whether you're a founder, a sales manager, or even a closer who wants to level up, there's links in the description where you can book a call and apply to actually work with me directly. And if you want to keep learning, here's the next video I recommend. You can watch it now.